these tires have done it all. We've done pavement, we did gravel, and even kind of bigger gravel like this, loose 3/4 minus gravel. We've done trails, we've done dirt, and these tires were an upgrade everywhere but pavement, probably, if you're going to be doing a lot of pavement. But that tire is made for more off-road. You know, I don't know if it's like an 80-20 tire. 80, I'm just making up numbers that would make sense to me. 80 dirt, 20% pavement, but my guesses are somewhere in that range. So if you want 50-50, maybe look for something where the knobbies are a little closer spaced. But these, I feel like I'm on a dirt bike now after I put these tires on. They really are just hooking up good, and they seem to be holding up okay. Yeah, but what an upgrade. Really feel like the next thing I want to do is get my handlebars up slightly with different bars or a small riser. But no, very impressed with the MT21s. We'll kind of keeping track of the mileage of when I installed them, but that's the best upgrade I've done to this bike so far. So hands down, MT21s are the best upgrade I've made to my CRF 300L. A DOT approved tire that's a very aggressive knobby. Now, I expect this is where this tire is really going to shine, although it was good on gravel. There's lots of roots in here and rocks. Man, this feels good. Oh, this is starting to feel like, it feels like a dirt bike now that I got traction. That's a sharp corner. Oh yeah, this is loose. They just did trail maintenance, I can tell. Oh yeah, this feels good. Oh, total difference. Before I was kind of skidding around through there at the front end and it was really kind of sketchy, and now the bike just rolls through here. And it absorbs the roots and stuff a little better too. These are good root drop-offs. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but a lot of roots. Wow. Feels good. This doesn't feel good. Actually, that feels awesome. Some more roots. Yeah, it's a little more compliant over this terrain. And more traction. No root drops there. More rocks, roots, dirt. Root drop. And the front end is connecting up. Makes the front forks feel better. Shows you that a good tire works better with forks. I don't feel like the forks are so horrible when I got a good tire on the front. But you guys can talk about why that is. Wow. That was a different experience. I could ride trails on this all day. Before I was like, oh, this is sketchy. I had to go a little slower than you know I normally would. I don't think I could have kept up with my buddies with the old tires. And on this, I could come up here ride, and I could ride with my buddies on their dirt bikes and keep up. But with the old tires, it wasn't going to work. So let's do one more trail section here. There we go. More roots. Boy, those tires transformed this bike. Really feels good. A lot of roots here, as you can see. Oh wow, yeah, feels good. And second gear is actually a pretty good gear for this. First gear is kind of like a tractor gear. But second gear, you can kind of modulate the throttle and clutch and... Gearing for the trail is pretty good on this. Oh man, the tires though, what a difference. What a difference. And I have no vested interest in selling tires or anything like that, so lots of roots here. And oh wow, this is great. Front end just bites when I need it to bite. The back end, it's definitely keeping traction. Oh, this uphill and loose and everything. Another uphill section here. Very loose roots and dirt, rocks. Man, it's transformed this bike. I can't even believe it. This is fun. It's fun. It is great when you don't have to worry about traction. Before, my front end was always slipping around. This is downhill, steep, loose, dirt, rocks, everything mixed. And I didn't feel anything slipping around before. Hit neutral for a second there. That was my fault. Wow, lots of fun. Such a good morning. Boulder, middle of the road there. Wow, that was great. Whew. Okay, I'd say that's a strong pass on that one. Yeah, great. Make sure that trail keeps going. I think I'll get back on it. That's the cool part about a dual sport is you can hop on pavement, hop on trail, back on pavement. This is an uphill where it's gets a little sketchy, but let's see. I went to first gear for a second, little tractor gear. Yeah, definitely more compliance. Get a little momentum here, a little uphill. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, that was roots and rocks. Yeah, no, feels good. And definitely more compliance out of the front when you've got a better tire over bad terrain. See, this is really rocky. It drops. And mud, I have a feeling this tire would do a lot better too because of the spacing of the knobs. This is great. It's actually really good on two wheels too. So if you like this kind of motorcycle content, feel free to, if you're inclined, like and subscribe. And I've got some plans for the Honda. Getting the handlebars raised, maybe some heated grips. Well, I'm sure some heated grips. I'll do a maintenance oil change video. So I'm just going to keep the content coming, but it's fun to do it for such a great group of people. I feel like the motorcycle community is just a good group of people. I can talk to most people, anyone on a motorcycle, and we can have a conversation. And I like all bikes. Many of you watch the channel know I like everything. I don't really consider myself having addictions, but I am addicted to riding motorcycles. And yeah, so going back to the tires, Pirelli MT 21, get my nod, my approval. But while you're putting those on, be sure to put some heavy duty tubes and rim locks. I put some, I'll put them in the link. Motion Pro lightweight rim locks in, and they were good. They're soft rubber on the outside of a nylon material, just to catch those with your tire levers like I did on one of them, and I had to replace one because I damaged it. But I was in a hurry. I had these new tires to spoon on, and I was really, really excited to get them on. Oh, speaking of that, they go on pretty well. They're definitely tough tires, which is good. Um, but the front tire was, you know, was was compared to like a golden tire or something, which is really soft rubber. I had to work at it a little bit to get them on, but I did get them on. Wasn't horrible, not as bad as some tires that I've done. The rear went okay, but they're not like a golden tire where I put it on and I don't even really think about it. Man, these just on this kind of stuff, these tires really grip. The stock ones did okay on this too, honestly, so at least when it was hard packed dirt like this. But yeah, installing the tires went pretty well. But when you put the rim locks in, if you're gonna do much highway, you're gonna need to balance at least your front wheel. I don't notice the rear one, but so I'm chugging up this hill to see how the rear traction does. Oh man, it's doing great. You can chug up a hill if you want to. If it's really muddy, I'd probably need more momentum, but I'll do a video on balancing tires. It is super easy. I was scared of doing it for years. It is not anything to be scared of. You just spin the tire. You can use an axle bolt to do that, or get yourself a tusk balancer or something. And it's just something that lets the wheels spin on it while you see what the low point is, and then you just put a weight opposite the heaviest point of the wheel. And you do that until you get the wheel to where it's not migrating with the heaviest part of the wheel to the bottom anymore. It becomes a little more randomized or a little more equal. Maybe the rim lock ends in a more equal spot, midpoint instead of always at the bottom. Then you've got it balanced. So anyway, I'll definitely want to balance this front tire just so it feels better on the pavement when I'm going 50, 60, and it doesn't feel bad. If I hadn't put a rim lock in, I think I wouldn't notice it. But rim locks, even the lightweight ones, they tend to throw things off a little bit. This is really rocky. And see all these roots, and the tires, they just felt kind of bouncy-frouncy through there before with the old tires, and now this just sticks. And it's more compliant. I do love this light clutch for stuff like this. All right. Okay, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you all, and hope all is well. Take care. Oregon Moto John signing off. Tires this. I slipped around pretty good. Kind of with the OEM tires, stock tires. So let's see if these grip or if I slide down. Oh wow, yeah. The other ones, my back end slid down as I was kicking up that, and it was really kind of sketch. Oh yeah, these perfect control. Well, maybe I'll do this trail. This is a pretty good uphill. It's hard to tell on the video. Sometimes I go left here, sometimes I go right. Let's go right. That wasn't bad. Okay. Wow. That's the easiest I've gone up that. This was the wrong line even, and no problem. Wow. Okay. These definitely help. I can pick any line I want and go where I need to go. Tires, once again, transform this bike. I know I've said that enough. Everybody's probably getting tired of it. Didn't miss that rock, and it was okay. Yeah, feeling good. He's getting A+. Oh man, this trail's great. Second gear. It's a good gear for this. Oh yeah, it feels good. Hopped over a few rocks and roots faster than I wanted. Did fine. Yeah, felt really good. Great. Strong pass on that. Made for right here. Got some tacky dirt here, and oh man, these things just grip. A little bit of mud there. Oh, but this tacky dirt up here. Man, this stuff connects. Back tire's hooking up, front tire. Now I'm not limited by traction, I'm just limited by the weight of the bike. Maybe a little bit of the front forks. If I push the bike really hard. That's second gear. Still can lug up that hill. Ooh, off-camber corner there. Until where somebody took off on that corner and kind of washed that trail out. They weren't carrying enough momentum. This is loose. That's very loose, and the MT-21 on the rear is able to find traction. Man, yeah, definitely he's doing well. There's a little root ball there. See if I can finagle through that. See lots of little roots. All right, did great. This tire definitely passes the test. Highway, and I don't know if it's coming through, but there's just kind of that tire whine from knobbies. I don't mind it, but if you don't like that, you wouldn't want to get these tires, but they feel good on the pavement. I mean, I can't tell that I'm running an aggressive knobby. I go through corners and it feels confidence inspiring. I wouldn't lean it way over, but like Supermoto's slick tires, but no, they feel fine. I got a little vibration in my front wheel, but that's because of me. I was so anxious to ride him, I didn't balance my front tire. But I'll do a video on that. That's really easy to do. You do have to pull the tire off to do it right, but that's an easy thing. I'll do a video on that. And you only notice it when you get up to around 50 or 60, and that's not the tire. That's me not balancing the front tire. I put a wheel lock in it, and I knew when you put a wheel lock in it, it throws the balance of the tire off, and you really do need to put a few weights on, not many, but a little bit. So I'll do a video of that. But here I am in a corner, and they feel fine. The torque of the bike isn't affected. I don't feel like these are heavy tires, but they work well on the street, but not the OEM tires, man. Those things were great on the street. So I mean, if you like ride mainly on the street, don't upgrade your tires to these for street riding, which makes sense. Why would you want to put a knobby on when you're going to be riding on the street? So I don't know if unrelated to tires is riding a dual sport is so much fun, just getting off in nature and just exploring a little bit. unwinding. When you're riding, you're typically not thinking about too much else other than riding, how great it is, and it's just so good to unwind. I think it's good for a person. I mean, it's early morning, sun's still coming up, and you can get out and go for a ride, clear your head. It's just fun. I know you all know what I'm talking about. That's why you ride. Okay, I'm kind of accelerating uphill, loose gravel, and before I would be losing the back end a little bit or losing traction, and these are hooking up now. Yeah, so uphill gravel section here, and yeah, we're getting good traction. Better traction than before. So the front, it gives better traction on corners, little vibration dampening. On the rear, a little vibration dampening, and better traction when you're trying to pull out of something where terrain is a problem. The traction is an issue. These tires raise the height of the bike just slightly. I'm talking, I didn't measure it, but just ever so slightly. So that's something to be aware of. And again, it's slight, maybe 1/8 of an inch, if that. But they have higher knobbies, so you know there's going to be just a slight height for that, and not as much as the knobby because the other ones have knobbies, so it'd just be the difference. But well worth it. That's kind of larger, not just like that 3/4 minus stuff. This kind of is a bigger kind of pit run type rock. And before, with the other tire, this would get really bouncy in the front and the rear, and this feels great. It's absorbing the shock, and that's what I found is a good tire. You don't notice the changes in terrain so much. I mean, I was sitting back there and I didn't mind it, and yeah, no, it's definitely helping. And this would probably, I did this rear shock as my first upgrade, first performance, but I don't know. I think tires should be it. This has made a huge difference. Part of me wishes I'd tried these tires first and then, revisited the suspension retest. I mean, I'm sure it still would have needed some help, but this is great. These tires really have absorbed a lot of, make the bike feel more controlled, more plush, if you will. And here's this gravel's really big here, large. Oh yeah, definitely better. I don't even, before I was always a little uncomfortable through this section, and on this one I really am not even, I mean, I'm noticing it, I'm picking my line to avoid like the things that could bend my rim or something, and that feels good. Okay, here we are on dirt and gravel, I guess. And again, these tires feel really good. Running 16 in the front and 18 in the rear. If I knew, like next time I come up here with as much off-road riding as I've been doing, and I barely did any pavement, I did maybe a couple miles of pavement, I'd probably lower this down to 12 to 15 in the rear and maybe 12 in the front. 12 to 13, that would work well up off-road. But if you're going to do more highway, you definitely need to go up to the maybe 20 in the front, 22 in the rear or something, but to save the tire. But if you're going to be doing mainly off-road, you can lower that down. You don't want to go in my opinion, much lower than 12, or else you risk of a pinch flat. If you hit a sharp rock or root, and that's, knock on wood, I've never been stranded because of a pinch flat, but it could happen. On my dirt bikes, I run tubeless in the rear, so I can go down to 6 to 8 pounds in the rear and not risk a pinch flat, and that works really well. But with this going on the highway, I'm going to stick with tubes, and it works well. But you don't want to go too low on that air pressure. And you guys tell me what you do for air pressure. It's always fun to hear what other people are doing. You definitely learn from each other. Lower tire pressures that I was talking about would be if you were like mainly doing off-road. I do think it's good to run higher pressures, around 20, give or take a little bit, so that you don't have your sidewalls wanting to fold over in a corner or something. So I just wanted to clarify that. I don't want anybody doing anything unsafe. Something I should mention though is I like the way these tires keep the bike feeling light and nimble. You don't need to change gearing. You don't need to do any of that. The bike still, the characteristics are the same. With these tires, I haven't changed anything. The sizing changes are minimal on the front and the same on the rear, so it doesn't change anything. So for I think a lot of us, that's important. We don't want to try one thing different. Now you have to modify something else, like your drivetrain. So in this instance, there definitely would be no modification needed to your drivetrain or gearing or any of that. You can put these tires on and run everything stock.